Hey, watch this. Alexa, trigger OSPF config. What just happened? What was that? Well, let me show you. And it's network automation. Come on, let's go. I have 5 routers that I wanted to configure with OSPF. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice what I did not do. I did not log into these devices via command line and put in the command like router OSPF. I didn't do that. Instead, I had this handy dandy Python script. Python is a programming language that you'll see everywhere when you're talking about network automation. You need to learn it. You should learn it. Learn it. I wrote this Python script and I told Python, hey Python, listen here. I want OSPF to happen. Please configure OSPF on my routers. And I also said, Python, I don't want to have to log into each device individually. It takes time. That's my time. Can you do that for me? And he said, yeah, because he has no choice. So he did it. He logged into router 1, router 2, router 3, router 4, router 5, and configured OSPF. Well, I just kicked back, had some coffee. Here we go. Oh, that is really cold. Ugh. And of course, I had my good old buddy Alexa over here, who was my trigger. So I said, hey, Alexa, do this. And she triggered my Python script. So what is network automation? This. It's this versus what we would traditionally have to do. So let's erase the Python. Sad. The traditional way would be me logging into each device and going, configure, 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 individually, right? A simple way to define network automation, just a one-liner, put in your brain, is basically CLI versus programming. CLI being the old man, the old generation, the CLI. That was my best old man voice. I apologize for that. The one device at a time configuration versus the new kid on the block, the new way of doing things. Multiple devices at one time, or all of them, depending on what you do. Now, that is an oversimplified way to look at it. The official definition from Cisco, I'll read it to you right now. The process of automating the configuring, managing, testing, deploying, and operating of physical and virtual devices within a network. So in the example I just showed you, all we do is configure something. We used automation, but we just did configuring. There's more to automation just based on the definition I read you. Another example would be troubleshooting your network. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a call in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., and, networks do break, right? In case you're not aware, networks don't work all the time. They're bound to have issues. And having to wake up in the middle of the night and even remembering how OSPF works and then having to troubleshoot why it isn't working, and without coffee, oh, come on, impossible. But using Python, using software, using all these network automation tools we're going to talk about in depth here in a moment, we can automate that process to where when I wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and I can hardly see in front of me, I can just, hey, run the script, tell me what's wrong. Bing, health check, here's what's wrong with your network. That's what we're talking about here. So throughout this skill, we're going to tackle 2 big things. We're first going to answer the question of why automate your network. We kind of just talked about it right now. Troubleshooting. It saves you time, saves you effort. We saw how configuring our routers with programming saved us a bit of time. That's one really great reason. But there are multiple reasons why you should automate. And then we'll also talk about the different types of automation, from configuring to deploying to managing to reporting. And I'll also provide concrete examples of what that will look like. And so you can play with it in your own lab. I'll provide the scripts. Now, this won't be a deep dive into how Python works and everything, but you can take it, throw it into your lab, and mess around with it. Because that's how you learn. That's the best way to learn this stuff. It's just to play around with it. Not in production. Don't do this in your production network, please. Don't get me in trouble. But do it in your lab. Go crazy in your lab. I'm so excited to talk about network automation with you. This is going to be, it's fun. At first, it was scary for me, I'll be honest, because I thought network automation was going to take away my job. I love logging into Cisco devices. I love managing devices via the CLI. I love the commands. And I thought network automation is going to take my job away because they won't need me to do that anymore. No. They still need you. They still need me to know how the network works, and we will be involved in automating it, making our lives easier, giving us more time, and giving us more sleep. So you ready? Let's make our lives a bit easier. Let's automate. I will see you in the next nugget where we're going to talk about device provisioning and why and what it looks like. Ooh, I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.